Alright, so you asked me why this car was so dirty to me. Well, I finally cleaned the wheel well, and this is about the best I can do without using any soap. I learned that brake clean will actually take that paint off on the other side. I'll show you that here in a second. So I'm just using rags, a couple Harbor Freight brushes, and yeah. But I'm replacing the shocks, the springs, all that, because you can see there's a little bit of surface rust, and you can't tell me after 30 years these shocks aren't tired. I'm going to leave the pads and rotors and all that. Of course, when I take all this apart, I'm going to clean like crazy back in there. I'm going to pause this. Okay, if you look in here, I'm redoing the wiring for the stereo. See how there's some dirt there? If we get down low, you can kind of see there's a little bit of dirt along here. Not much, but a little bit. Like I want to try to fix this. I'll probably take it to Wolfman. Look in here. Once I put a light in here, it's a lot worse. I used to have some 3M sticky stuff for more 12 volt outlets. Alright, we come on this side. You can kind of see, I haven't cleaned this side yet. You can see how dirty it is compared to the other. And then you can see why I try to use some paint to match paint. I've learned that if you scuff it, it actually makes it look a lot better. I haven't scuffed that yet, so I'm hoping it works. But that's where the brake clean took that red off. You see, I mean, it's not terribly dirty, but it can definitely use a good cleaning. But, oh. I've cleaned my wheels inside and out. Hopefully you can see this. I still got to take a brush to the inner edge right there, and that's about it. I'm just doing it one wheel well at a time. I've done that one. But you look at the underside. It's not terrible. Like, you know, there's some little bit of dirt and dust and stuff that's like in the wheel well I can clean off. Alright, here's the back passenger area. That's really bad. You can see all that black in there. All that should come off. It's not terrible, but you know, it does need to be cleaned. There's this on top of the muffler. It needs to be cleaned up. Alright, over here, so I took both sides, the drums off, cleaned them. They were actually really clean, but I went ahead and just painted them because they're so big. You can even see the gravel on top of the gas tank there. I would really love to drop the gas tank and clean up, but I probably won't. I'm trying to do as, what's it called, invasive, a little invasive or whatever. There's a couple brackets and stuff I got to clean up under here. I don't know if with brackets, if I'm just going to kind of clean them with a wire brush. You're probably looking at this sideways, I don't know how you're looking at it. And just spray some rust converter on it that I used on the Hummer. It did really good. But yeah, I don't know how I'm going to quite do the brackets yet. All these new parts. The engine here, I mean, it's really that clean. It's ridiculous how much I've gone in. And I don't know if you remember the battery tray, but that had some rust spots. So I've cleaned that up. I kind of got to touch up the paintwork a little bit. That's why I got the paint to match. It wasn't terrible, but I just wanted it to be better, because I know how battery acid is. Put a new radiator in. New spark plugs, wires, the cap, and the little button. Took this manifold cover off, cleaned it, cleaned all down in there like crazy, cleaned the manifold. Got two studs or one stud welded in, the other one welded for the downpipe. Not on the actual head, but that right there, you can kind of see the shiny piece there where the O2 is. I still got just a little bit more work to do over here. Of course, I did an oil change. I actually took the oil pan gasket off. That was a pain in the ass. I'll get to that. Valve cover gaskets before I parked it. I've cleaned this like crazy. When I replaced the radiator, there's some buildup down in there I had to clean up. That's actually the same washer fluid I had from high school. I'm going to show you underneath. Because if you ask me what I'm doing, it's a whole bunch of stuff. I cleaned this because the battery acid had leaked down, so I had to clean and paint it. I kind of hate that it's so shiny compared to that one, but it is what it is. Yeah, there you go. There's your two studs I had to replace. Of course, top of the line filter protect craziness. Went ahead and put a new drain plug in it. Took off the oil pan, cleaned it really good, put a light coat of paint on it. The gasket was barely leaking, so I replaced that. But to replace that, you got to drop this part of the exhaust off. You got to drop this cross member out, and you got to take all, wherever they are, the plastic shields off. I'm looking at maybe doing a transmission drain and fill. I don't know if I really want to, because you know the stories on that. You know how you replace them when they go out. Yeah, I mean, it's just a whole lot of cleaning up under the car I'm doing. I mean, you can see, like here, there's some dirt right in there on the lip there. Yeah, you can't really see it unless you're laying on the ground. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to do brake lines all around. I did one over there right now. I put 5.1 brake fluid in it, which I know is pretty much all leaked out, which kind of sucks. Really need my suspension, my shocks, because the wire, the rubber brake line goes right through it. I put 5.1 brake fluid in it because it doesn't attract water like dot 3 and 4 does, and it can handle more temperature, which honestly I don't really care about. I just don't want it to get water in there. And you have to have 5.1 because it's made for dot 3 and 4. You don't want to get dot 5 because that's for military use only, heavy duty kind of stuff. There's my other spare header just in case I needed it. I'm redoing the wiring. I really want to put that on and off knob. Let's see, that was that box for the spark plug wires. Let's see. I mean, and in the meantime, this all is for my '01 Corolla. No, it's not all for that '01 Corolla. It's actually all of a parts car I paid $100 for, and I got $60 of that back in scrap. I mean, you got a whole steering wheel column and all that. You got the plastics that go up on the front. You got a really nice radiator. You can tell it's fairly new. Usually they get brown and cracked if they're old. You got some center console pieces that'll hit the eBay. Got a whole nother deck, which is the same exact one I got. You got spare tire seat belts. That's good money right there. Of course, I got the whole suspension out of the car. All 4 shocks and struts. Even though on the '01 Corolla I'm replacing the shocks and struts, I went ahead and pulled these because I didn't know what I was doing right at that moment when I pulled them a couple weeks ago. But I'm going to put all 4 of these up on eBay for probably $100 and see if I can't recuperate some of my $375 I spent. But yeah, I got a whole engine. I mean, the whole subframe I just dropped out from under it, a couple extra wheels. But again, that's not for this car. It's just another project, I guess, if you will. But for $100, I can't complain. And yeah, so I put a fan in here to move the air, because in the car you don't want to get humidity and you don't want to have stagnant air, because that will cause mold along with the humidity. And then I put a AC unit in, which has definitely helped a lot. I don't know if you've read into it. I've done a bunch of reading. I don't know why this light's still on. How do you turn this thing off? There you go. You want it to be 70 or below, which no, I don't even keep the garage at that low because I'm just a cheap ass. Let's face it. You want the humidity to be between 40 and 60. I'm thought about getting a dehumidifier, but it's really not terrible. I look at like how Gerald Duncan keeps his cars in the museum, in the heat, no AC, the heat barely works, humidity through the roof, and temperatures constantly changing. They say when you store a car, you want to keep the temperature steady, you want to keep the humidity steady. You don't want all this change in it, and you got to have the air circulating throughout so that way no moisture will build up in any one particular area. Honestly, I probably need to put a little fan on the interior, or do something in there. But as clean as this car is, and it's been in here for 3 years, right here shoved in the corner, you can see the wheel dollies I used, and they were shoved up against that and the wall all the way back. I mean, it's been here for 3 years, and well, you saw how clean it is. Um, Honestly, I'll probably end up sharing this to other people on Corolla pages and stuff. But Matt, that gives you an idea of what I've been up to, how meticulous I'm being, and how well I'm trying just to preserve this car, even though people to this day still make fun of me. Oh, why are you preserving the car? You don't need that. Blah, 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 blah. It's my baby. It's my history. And I'm ridiculously proud of it. That's what it comes down to. So, anywho, yep, I'll let you go because it's been 11 minutes.